What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm getting into how meditating for 180 days consecutively has changed my life significantly. Before we get into that, my name's Keith. I made this channel to help men create their ideal lives through self-mastery. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos because I put out new videos every single day. So let's get into this. Honestly, I've probably meditated for more than 180 days consecutively, but I know for a fact it's been at least that long. I've been doing this practice for about a year on and off, and I've really just honed in on it very seriously over the past 6 months or so because I just found that it was so profound to my life. Now, I made a video, one of my very first videos actually was on the top 5 benefits of meditation, and I actually made that video from a perspective of having done it for less time and with less realizations about the actual benefits of it. So I wanted to make this updated video because it really has been such a profound thing in my life to be doing this on a daily basis. One of the reasons I think this is, a lot of people don't experience the major benefits of meditation because they don't stick with it long enough, because they don't understand what the point is, and as a result, they're not getting any results. So, like, a lot of people have videos on, like, meditating for 30 days straight, and you can get somewhere with that, for sure. It's better than nothing, and you got to start somewhere, right? But the true benefits come after longer periods of time, after you start to discover new things in the process. This is a real unfolding process that people don't realize. It's so much deeper than just quieting your mind for 10 minutes so you can focus better for the rest of the day. It's really a truly deep practice that has profound impacts on your life. And I know I'm kind of rambling about how nice it is, but it really is. It's been huge to me. So basically what I do is I spend 10 to 20 minutes every morning in meditation. And what I do, I used to do this, and this was a mistake, is I used to visualize while I meditated. I did these guided meditations where you're supposed to visualize things. And I find that that's kind of, it's not the right time to do that, basically. During the meditation, what you should be doing, and what I do now, is I surrender all thought. Whether it's good or bad, I surrender it and just focus on getting that stillness within myself. And what happens is about 5 minutes into this, at this point, my body starts to vibrate, and like it feels like really good, like this real positive feeling within it. It begins to vibrate. And then by the time I get up from the meditation, I've been able to calm my mind. I'm a kind of person, for some reason, when I wake up in the morning, a lot of times I have either anxious or angry thoughts on my mind. So going straight into the meditation gets rid of all that, and then I can reset for the day. What I would say the biggest benefit I've gotten from meditation on a daily basis has been the ability to recognize my thoughts from a detached state, and then look at my life and see how my thoughts are creating my reality. You know how they talk about this in law of attraction stuff, how your thoughts create your reality, but you can't really notice what you're thinking until you detach. You think you pay attention to what you're thinking, but you truly don't until you've spent a long time focusing on releasing the thoughts, and so that you see your thoughts from a bird's eye point of view almost. So what happens for me now is I can be feeling a certain way in my body, an emotion, and then usually within a few minutes or hours, it'll start to manifest in different things that are corroborating that feeling in my experience. And so basically what I can do now is I can start to notice the emotion, first of all, and I can start to steer things on the right direction by just changing my focus and getting my energy in a better spot. But also, if I'm noticing different things happening, I can take a look at it and understand that my thoughts are creating it, right? And so then again, from that perspective, I can either be surrendered to this experience and just understand that it'll be over in a little while and I can get back on a high vibrational feeling, or I can take some action to go ahead and shift that process around. But one of the interesting things is just noticing, I talked about this in yesterday's video about patterns in your life, and I started to notice these major patterns that continue to unfold in my life, and I was only able to notice that because I started detaching from my thoughts and I could see them and ask myself, like, why are you thinking that? What part of you is thinking that's what's causing you to think that? Get to these answers and then get rid of those thoughts and control them, and ask myself the question, what would I rather think? How would I rather feel about this experience? And you get that much control over your thoughts, you can really start to change your world. It's really phenomenal. Another big one was an increased vibration and inner peace. Once you've been doing this for a while, I really didn't unlock this kind of ability, and I don't think it's like levels to a video game where like at day 120 suddenly you get like access to some new thing. It'll happen on its own accord when you're ready and at the time when you've reached this point. But at about 120 to 150 days, I started getting the ability to actually just have a quiet mind completely, basically on command, and I can maintain a silent mind and just an awareness without being in meditation for minutes to, several minutes, 10 minutes at a time. And people do not realize how valuable that is, and how your thoughts are really the only thing that causes any pain in your life. And if you can get your mind quiet for a little while, you can raise your vibration. You'll just have an inner sense of peace about you, because you start to get a feeling for where you are in the world and how things aren't constantly happening to you in a negative state. That's just your ego mind telling you all these fears and negative stories. And if you just silence that, you can raise your state, you can feel better, and you'll allow better things to come into your life as a result. The other one, the ability to control emotional state with ease. This is the other really big one I got from it. So like I was saying earlier, if I started to feel a negative emotion in my body, I've gotten to where I'm very aware of that, because through meditation I've trained the awareness of how I'm feeling. So now if I start to feel something coming up, maybe like a hopeless feeling or something like that, I can start to identify where it's coming from, and I can release it through what I talked about in the trapped emotion videos on how to release a trapped emotion. But I can also go in and I can create a different emotional state through a practice of some sort. Usually it has to do with focusing on something I'd rather be feeling, something, identifying the thought that's causing the emotion, and then thinking of the opposite. So in the situation, like if something's making you feel hopeless, well, you could ask the question, well, what would I rather feel? What would I rather think? Because the thing that's making you hopeless, with something making you hopeless, it would imply that there's something that would make you hopeful. So when you notice the thing that's making you hopeless, start thinking about the thing that makes you hopeful. And this only happens as soon as you start to get more and more aware of your thoughts and stop riding them. Like most people kind of hang on for dear life to their thought stream, and you have to learn to stop doing that. And it only comes with doing this for a long period of time. A lot of people, the first few days they meditate, if they're using a guided meditation, they can get some real benefit out of it, because it's like a new stimuli. Like they've got this voice in their head talking to them, telling them what to do, so they can stay quiet and be chill with it. But after a couple days, when they've gotten used to hearing the person's voice, their mind starts thinking over it, and that voice goes into the background. And then you have to be able to actually mentally control your thoughts. And that's where a lot of people get hung up and they quit. But once you get to the ability to do that, you just have so much more control over your reality and how you feel, and your life just goes a lot better. So some advice I'd like to give you on meditating so that you could get some of these benefits is, first, when you meditate, like I said, don't go into a meditation doing these visualizations about things. I don't think that's the point. The point is to release all thought, good or bad. So set the intention when you start that you're going to surrender all thought. And what I do is, I'll have my eyes closed, and if the thought comes up, I try to look at the thought as if I'm looking at a TV screen. And then so I see the thought on the TV screen while I'm looking back here at it, and then I just kind of let it go away, almost like dust in the wind, and let it blow away. And you might have to do this an awful lot, especially if you're new at this. And then what you're going to realize after this is, once you start releasing the big thoughts and the visual thoughts that are in your mind, you'll notice that there's this voice that's still talking in your head that's telling you to do it, right? So like maybe you're like, so it's almost like a two-tiered thought stream you've got going on. Your mind is so complex, right? So you've got the original thought that you're seeing, that you're visually seeing, and then you've got the voice that's telling you you're thinking, and it's like, release the thought. So now it's like telling you, all right, we're releasing the thought, but that voice in your head is also you thinking. So what you start to realize then is you can release that voice too. And so rather than telling yourself stories, you get to where you can release the stories, and you get to where you can kind of release the reoccurring thoughts. Then you get to the point where you can release the voice altogether. And so it gets to the point where I'm also releasing the voice at the same time that I'm releasing the thought, and it gets completely quiet at that point. And this is something that over time masters of spiritual practices have talked about, the point where they truly release the inner voice and the desire to think in general. And I have not reached that point, and quite honestly, I don't intend to reach that point. I don't feel like enlightenment is my plan here on this planet at this time, but the ability to release it for a time, though, allows you to raise your vibration and feel significantly better. Now, a way to do this, Two main ways to do this, actually, if you have a hard time quieting your mind, is to, when you have your eyes closed, you'll notice that as long as there's no light coming in from outside into them, you'll notice there's these specks, these little light specks that will appear in your vision. What you can do is you can pay attention to those and allow yourself to become one with kind of the specks and those little light patterns that are going on in your eyes. And once you do that and allow your body to just become aware of that and focus on that, you'll notice really quickly your vibration will start to rise because your mind will get quiet once you start paying attention to that. Another one you can do that I use when that doesn't work well is I'll try to become aware of time. And by that I mean I literally kind of just, I'm quiet here and I just try and be still enough to feel the present moment. And you'll get into this sense where you can feel like the moment just keeps going and going and going, and there is no past and future. It's only now, and now just keeps moving forward. The last piece of advice I'd give you, after the meditation, get on the right vibration by doing some kind of practice. So for me, I usually get done with it and I do a gratitude practice just to make myself feel better. And then usually I'll start thinking about some stuff I want. How do I want the day to go? What are some visions I'd like to accomplish in my life? And I get myself on the right feeling. And when you get into that right feeling, you'll start getting intuitive ideas on what you should be doing during the day. And you won't have to mentalize the whole thing. It'll just come to you in a more natural process. But guys, that's all I've got for this video. I highly recommend that if you aren't already, you start taking these tips. I'll put a guided meditation down below that I use on a daily basis that's really effective for me. It's just a simple mindfulness meditation. But like I said, guys, that's all I've got for this video. Be sure to like it if you got something out of it. Subscribe, hit the bell icon so you don't miss tomorrow's video, and I'll see you tomorrow.